Good morning. Easy as you like yesterday. Left you on your own. Shouldn't have had any problems really. Simple operation. Although 1.29 favourites should be scoring before half time. Albany got the opener for Luton after 12 minutes. We normally wait 20 minutes if it's 0-0. Would Liverpool score before half time? Well, no. Options. Certainly half time was an option, but you would have lost out there. Laying over 1.5 goals, covered that 0-1. And you've got a nice early goal in the second half just to ease your worries. Don't forget, 1.29 odds equals 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. So that's what you should have been expecting. We've seen it before with Liverpool when they've been at 1-1 at half time at similar odds and they've ended up winning 3-1. So don't forget. And don't forget the really strong second half scoring. I don't know if you would have been put off by the number of absentees for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold, Alisson, Jota, Jones, Matip, Darwin Núñez, Mo Salah, Szoboszlai and Thiago. Huge absentees. More added, I think, as well. In the Champions League, I don't tend to play myself. 0-0 at half time. Could have arguably laid the 0-0. But 94th minute goal for Galeno. That would be gutting for the Arsenal. Wow. Napoli and Barcelona. If Napoli scored first, they might have been gettable. But no, Robert Lewandowski scored first. Napoli have been having the poorest season. Osimhen coming back from Africa, getting the important goal for the Napolis. So that's it yesterday. Similar story today research-wise. I won't be doing any research, even Torino-Lazio I've had a go at, but typical of a 2.4, the favourite. You can make as equal an argument for both sides. Torino come into this in strong unbeaten form. That's the positive. Only 2 losses since the 28th of October. 4 clean sheets in 6 matches. Lazio, Champions League distraction recently, 2 defeats in 3. They did score in the last 6 away, but they have a poor record. Well, against the top 5, but they're playing 8th today. So again, you can make a good argument for Torino and their recent unbeaten form. You can make a good argument for Lazio and the fact that they only lose to the top 5 really away from home. Hence 2.4 the favourite. You'll see this time and time again, and it tends to be accurate. You can make as good an argument for either side or as bad an argument for either side. Europa League and Europa Conference League today. The 2 leagues, I'll be up and about 5:45 for those. Can't promise anything. These are very tough competitions, particularly when you get late into it. It's like playing a Grand Slam tennis tournament. I tend to look at the early rounds first because they're obvious and readable, but then what happens, you get to the best teams or the best player emerging near the end of the tournament, and you find it hard to split them. And you can tell that, as I was alluding to, 2.4 the favourite for Lazio. Look at this, 2.55, 2.15, 2.6, 2.38 and 2.5. Tough. I can't give you anything pre-match at all. Pointless. 2.3, 2.45, 2.2 and 2.4. We can't look at league form because they're in different countries. So that doesn't marry, does it? And looking at the recent form in this competition, well, this is a one-off kind of thing. It's one of 2 legs. Read the previews by all means. If you can get anything out of the previews, great. I would recommend the previews here, and you'll get an alternative view of the match at uk.soccerway.com. If you click on this here, you get 2 separate pieces of information. The match preview is completely different to the one at soccer24.com, and these little snippets, but these are mostly in all competitions. So there have been 3 or more goals scored in total in each of AC Milan's last 10 away games, but they might have been playing the bottom half sides in Serie A. You can't really drag that into this. Rennes have won the last 3 games at home when Terrier scored. Yes, but that's in French League 1. El Blas has scored in 43% of Europa League games. That's more like it. This is a Europa League specific stat. If you want this to stop because it normally goes quickly, go backwards. Okay. One more thing, if you wanted to look at this yourself, and I'm afraid I'm not going to research for you because it's pointless. It's in-play trading only. But if you wanted a really full look, then use AI. So for this particular match, Rennes and AC Milan, I would get this, if I can get ChatGPT up. Okay, so what you do, cut and paste soccerway.com, go to the match here, Rennes and AC Milan, go to the previews. Don't forget these previews disappear at kickoff, so make use of them. Martin Terrier, again mentioned in soccer24.com, so he might be the goal man today if you want a goal punt. And then I've got a prompt here, or you can use your own. Turn all of this information into an informative preview of the match. And this is all completely free, and it'll give you a decent pre-match preamble, but there's absolutely no stats or anything else I can add to it. And this is what you come up with. So what this is telling us is these are second leg matches. And it's also giving a possible outcome as well, so that's interesting. Key stats, Milan haven't lost an away Europa League game since December 2018. That's quite something. Rennes have a record of not conceding in 2 previous home Europa League fixtures against Italian opponents. Rennes have won 5 of the last 6 matches, scoring first in 5 of them. Milan have scored in each of the last 20 games in all competitions. Milan have failed to score in 4 of the last 6 European away fixtures. So very interesting. They've failed to score in 4 of the last 6 away, but they are unbeaten away since December 28th. So what is this, collecting nil-nils? Martin Terrier has been mentioned twice as a key player, possible goal scorer. So we look today at the deficits in the Europa League and the Conference League. So you can look at this quickly via the head-to-heads. You get an idea, or you can see it up here. First leg result 4-2. Now I'm not sure if that's 4-2 to Braga. I think it is, or Karabag. I think this goes by the teams today, because that should be an away result, shouldn't it? If they won 4-2. You can double check that in head-to-heads. So let's do this quickly on the video. 2-4 to Karabag. Braga do have goals in them. They're away from home though. Karabag have been scoring plenty in the Azerbaijani league, as you've seen. No coincidence, but I didn't think that would carry on through to the Europa League. So Braga must score the first 2 goals. So let's do this quickly. Freiburg and Lens, head-to-heads. Move down. 0-0. So it's all to play for this one. Karabag and Braga. Braga must score 2 goals. Rennes and AC Milan. I think this is a 3-0 AC Milan lead. Really comfortable in the first leg. So Rennes must score the next 3 goals. Toulouse and Benfica. 1-2 result to Benfica, I believe. It's very weird how they do that, because that should be an away scoreline, shouldn't it? From the first leg, but it's not. So just double check that. Yeah, it's 2-1 to Benfica from the first leg, so Toulouse must score the next goal. Roma and Feyenoord. I think 1-1 from the first leg. This is Daniele De Rossi, new manager of Roma. Marseille and Shakhtar Donetsk. 2-2 from the first leg, all to play for. Shakhtar have had a few of these games in Europe, plenty of goals. Sparta and Galatasaray, 2-3 from the first leg. So this could be more competitive with Sparta at home. They're scoring 2 goals. Do check the scoreline as well. Was it full of red cards, full of incident? Let's have a look. Well, Galatasaray scored first, were red carded, so they even got the win despite the red card. So that's quite something. But they've got some excellent players. Carlos Vinicius, Dombele, Wilfred Zaha, Icardi. It's a really solid looking side, with the Champions League in mind, no doubt. Sporting Lisbon against Young Boys must be a sporting opener, 3-1. So the Young Boys have everything to play for away from home. We'll do a similar story in the Conference League. Ajax and Bodo Glimt, 2-2 from the first leg. Ajax continue their poor run despite having Henderson in midfield. Doesn't seem to be making any difference. Indeed, as soon as he's turned up, they start losing. 2-2 from the first leg. Could be a competitive evening. Dinamo Zagreb and Real Betis, 1-0 for Dinamo Zagreb in the first leg. We could see Real Betis certainly have the strength to get out of this one. Ludogorets and Servette, 0-0, all to play for. Got a nice trade from Servette the weekend. Frankfurt and Union Saint-Gilloise, 2-2, all to play for. Ferencvaros and Oli, 0-1 to Olympiacos, so they'll be looking for a 0-0 this evening or a 0-1 to make it tough for Ferencvaros to get through. Legia Warsaw and Molde, 2-3, all to play for. Molde, the Norwegian season yet to begin, so you'd be subtly favouring Legia. Slovan Bratislava, 1-4, Sturm Graz emphatic from the first leg. Just double check. Was it an incident-packed match? Was there a red card involved? Indeed, no, Sturm Graz. Well, there was a red card, but it didn't really impact upon the match. But there was a penalty there as well, so this might be tighter this evening than you'd expect. A red card coming after the goal coming after the red card, and a penalty second half. So a very tight second half for Slovan Bratislava. Really, it could have just been 2-1, couldn't it, without the penalty? So don't be fooled. We might see a competitive Slovan Bratislava this evening. So that's it this evening. You can see why I don't research. It's mostly just head-to-heads. You've got all the information you need from this video. I'll see you at 5:45 onwards. Just make sure you've got these head-to-heads in mind. Who needs what? Do they have the power to get through? The need for goals could have you looking at over 2.5 goals if these matches are quiet after 20 minutes. That might be an angle in from a trading perspective as well this evening. I'll see you at 5:45 on Telegram only. I won't be doing a live stream this evening. It could be a bit hit and miss. I like to have a large selection of games for a live stream so we can be kept busy throughout the live stream period. But just Telegram this evening. See you at 5:45.